Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our Pacific Talk Self-Advocacy series. And I am your host for today, Alofaeleuma Faualo. You all might know me for a previous podcast that we have several months ago. And right next to me, it's my partner, Ernie. Ernie, you want to?
Hi, everybody. This is Ernie Seevaetasi. I'm with the Lofa this morning. Yeah, just getting ready to talk with some friends here.
Yeah. So we have our special guest for today, and it's Serita and Fausaga from the OPAD. So we're just gonna have some few questions with them today, and hopefully you guys are ready. But do you guys want to introduce yourself first, or anything you guys?
Yeah, sure. That's
Okay.
Yeah. So thank you, Alofa, for introducing us. My name is Fausaga Veavea. I'm the program director at the Office of Protection and Advocacy for the disabled. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Telephone, good morning. My name is Serita from Peretania. I am a program manager for the Office of Protection and Advocacy
Mm.
for the Disabled. And we are so happy to be here this morning to talk and to share our thoughts.
Right.
Nice.
Yeah. How you guys feeling today?
Great.
Awesome.
I had some nerves, but I'm okay.
You and me both.
Hey, first time is everything, right?
Yeah. Yeah. This is my first podcast.
Same here.
Yeah.
Okay, so hopefully you guys ready, and we're ready, and let's get our questions on. So first question is that what is the mission of your organization, and who do you serve in the community?
The mission of our organization as the Office of Protection and Advocacy, we serve the disability community, and we protect and advocate for their rights, their civil rights, their human rights, and we assist and provide support and education regarding disability services. Yeah.
Mm.
But we are not a direct service provider.
Oh, okay.
Just wanted to be clear on that.
What does it mean? What does it mean to be not a direct?
We don't provide services, like we don't offer if a client comes in and they are requesting assistive technology like wheelchairs,
Oh, okay.
medical beds, so we don't provide that,
Sometimes.
Ah,
but we connect them to the service provider, like Office of Vocational Rehabilitation, yeah, or the LBJ Hospital. So yeah,
Oh.
we're like the middleman.
but you
Just
have.
connect you.
Oh, okay. Okay. When consumers come to you, you have the who's who in our community
Yes.
that can best serve
Yeah.
ICE. Oh, that's
Mm.
perfect.
Yes.
Because all this. Okay.
So it's more like a referral.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So that's what we do. It's an intake and referral.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you also do because I was trying to look up OPAD, right? It does a lot about legal protection
Yeah.
of consumers with disability.
Yes.
Do you also have like what you call legal department or lawyers of some sort that we can be referred to, or
So right now we don't have an attorney in
Ah.
our department, but
Right.
yes, we do provide legal assistance, like our mission. We protect and advocate for the civil rights of the disabled through legally and culturally based um, culture, through the anganu'u and through the law. So if we try to resolve a complaint or anyone that comes asking for help, we try to resolve in the lowest possible way that we can. And if it comes to the term that we have to go through legal process, then that's where we have to step in as with an attorney and stuff.
kind of taking it through step 1, 2.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
Oh, okay. Well, that's all right.
So, what inspired you personally to work in disability service and advocacy?
That's a great question. I'll be honest, it wasn't my first option. Before I worked at OPAD, I was working previously at the Criminal Justice Planning Agency. And so I think it was during that time, being in that space and how the work is very different, being at EOB as well.
Right.
Like the able-bodied individuals, like you can do all the running and,
Right.
everything was just physical. So, and there were some barriers, not as far as the work, but there was an incident that I'd like to share. It happened when we had like that tsunami scare.
Right.
Yeah, we had that a little earthquake. I think it was far off the coast of Fiji or somewhere. But anyway, when that happened, there was no emergency preparedness plan, in place. And you would think that government agencies would have that already. And so I was on the third floor. That's where our office is at. And I wasn't able to come down because they shut down the
The
elevators.
elevators, right.
Yeah. So even with the chairs that the administrative services had, I don't know where those chairs were at. No one knew where they were at. And so my director at the time, Mrs. Mariana Fai, she was the person who actually accommodated me down the flight of stairs. It was like 4 flights of stairs.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I had to walk down, but we were very careful. And I was just glad that there was no actual, the waves didn't come in or things
Right.
like
Right.
that. It was just, but I was grateful that I had help at that time. But at the same time, it really opened my eyes that there's a lot of lack of preparation. Yeah, in the government side, that they don't have a preparedness plan for emergencies. Yeah, for that. So that's when I was blessed to get a job at OPAD. Yeah. And so working there is such a privilege and an honor to serve, people with disabilities. And just for me to actually, like, as a person that has a physical disability, like, it's good to learn to have more knowledge, about like giving assistance to people who come in, and hearing about their stories, the things that they've been through, and so just being an advocate really means a lot to me. Yeah, gives me more empowerment, as a person with a disability. So
Well, thank you for sharing that. This is some good with the IAM, the past podcast that we have. Yeah. So thank you for sharing that meaningful story. So now we're gonna get to one of the
Wait, Serita, what's your drive to join OPAD?
Okay.
Mm.
Sorry.
I've been a caregiver to my grandmother for almost 10 years.
Uh-huh.
And kind of stopped working at. And the love for caring for my grandmother, because she had a amputated leg, and she was wheelchair bound. And so my experience with taking care of her after she passed away in 2018, the door kind of opened for me at OPAD, and it inspired, my grandmother inspired me actually taking care of her, especially our elders. It inspired me to join the Office of Protection and Advocacy for the Disabled, and it has helped me a lot to understand accessibility, inclusion, equity,
Right.
equality amongst the disabled people. And I've always had the love for people with disabilities because of my
Right.
grandmother. So that's my story. So I've been there for almost 5 years, going on 6, and it's a
Wow.
privilege, and also to meet a lot of people, not only the disabled, but veterans that come into the office,
Right.
and also people that have been going through, the cases that
Right.
we've been working on, because that's our job, to investigate when there's complaints of abuse and neglect, also for accessibility problems and facilities and stuff like that. So it's really helped me grow as an advocate, as a PNA in American Samoa. That's my story.
You see, because Alofa asking that question to share your backgrounds,
Mm.
it kind of like ties into the question I had in mind yesterday that I was running it through CAT, but it was too direct. That my question was to try and touch on, like, is there somebody in OPAD that has that personal experience
Right.
of being disabled,
Right.
or and sure enough, you folks in OPAD, you have your personal connections to what people with disability go through, because I was prejudging OPAD, seriously, I was just prejudging OPAD, like, oh, I wonder if they know what it feels like, like pretty much when you walk into an ASG government office, you kind of like, oh, I wonder what it's like for them to,
Right.
Yeah.
walk in our shoes. But, hearing your stories, you definitely know what it's like to walk in our shoes,
Thank you for the
And,
question.
well, to thank you. I mean, it's it kind of like humbles everybody.
Mm.
Yeah, like if I was to walk into OPAD and I'm like, see Serita, I'm like, I wonder what she knows what it's like,
Yeah.
to be blind or to be in a wheelchair. And you probably just gonna like, be quiet. You don't know my story, but now I do, But thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
That's awesome.
So yeah, now first of all, thank you both for sharing those stories. And so now we're done with the introduction part to know what drives you and
Yeah.
what OPAD is. So we're gonna get to the
The nitty gritty.
yeah.
Wait, there's a nitty gritty? That's something.
So what is the role of OPAD in protecting the rights of people with disability?
Basically, we advocate, and it's such a powerful word, advocacy.
It is.
And it could look like many things, and it even reflects in the work that we do.
Yep.
For example, Serita here, she works with our program director, Ray, and they monitor facilities under the PAMI program that we have. So PAMI stands for Protection and Advocacy for Individuals with Mental Illness. So they go to do routine checkups and follow-ups, monitoring facilities such as Behavioral Health Center and I think it's called the Community Living under the Department of Health, and also the Tafuna Correctional Facility. Yeah, so when they go to monitor, some of the leadership roles, the directors, or they're like, oh, why are they here? What did we do
Right.
wrong? But I think that's basically part of our role. Like, we're policing, the facilities we go to, and just to
Right.
make sure that everything is in compliance. Especially under the Americans Disabilities Act. Just to make sure they have accessible accommodations. Yeah, for prisoners. For the patients and everyone that receives a service.
Right.
Yeah. So
Even as prisoners, they have every right.
yes, they have
Yes.
rights.
Right?
Yeah.
They have, yeah. Okay. And especially with patients as well at the
Yes.
hospital and
Mm.
OPALs.
Oh yeah.
Yes. So our role is basically to support their rights and their needs.
Yes.
Yes, and so that they can have a voice
Yeah.
and also access services and live better lives as equal as us.
Mm.
Yeah.
So, as she was mentioning, monitoring, adding to monitoring, we also investigate.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said previously, investigate when there's an abuse and neglect claim, and we also we have the privilege of being of our role is we have access authority
Right.
from when we receive the consent of a patient or a client to access in the facility where they're living at or staying at, or access to records, medical records, anything, documents that can help
Yeah.
build the case that they brought in.
Do you have to have that report directly from the patient or consumer, or can a person that knows of the situation report it into OPAD?
Yes. Anyone or a family member or a person that knows the patient or the client, they can come and have an intake. We can take an intake,
Right.
of the person that he is claiming or the person that has a problem. And then what we can do is we need a consent from the person in order for us to move
Right.
through the facilities and records like that. But if, let's say, the mother came because of her son or daughter, the mother can have the intake done for her son with the that she's bringing in for the complaint, and then we can have her sit down with the son and she can sign medical consent. She's the guardian. Or if a person is older and is able to bring his or her own complaint, and then she'll be able to sign a consent for us, saying it's okay for us to access.
So without that consent, no matter how many people report the same situation to your office, without that consent, you
Yes.
cannot move on that.
Yes,
Yeah.
we
Right.
need the consent and
Do-
the intake to be
Right.
done.
Do you then run into the cultural wall of the mefangale awole reporting you know?
That's
The-
why. Sorry, Ernie.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
That's why we try to resolve the problem
Mm.
in the lowest possible manner. Like we go through that cultural setting first.
Mm-hmm.
Kalang mo, we're gonna
Right.
paso mo le, what do you call? Perform mo le fafita uli,
Right.
tono le nu or ile ai.
You know, family. Oh,
Yes. So because the family has come to us,
right.
so that we can go through there first before taking legal action. Therefore,
Right.
se tali.
Hey.
There's no answer to the
To the
problem.
complaint or to the
Yes.
report.
Yeah.
And then I get the sense also from, like sometimes ilo malamalama. They're like, wait, what are we doing wrong? We're not doing anything wrong. It's not really they're doing anything wrong. It's just that they didn't know
Yes.
that what they're doing is not accordance to protection,
Exactly.
right?
So part of our role too is to educate the community.
Got it.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's. I think that we're lacking that. Tilo tanga sa ere mam lamal macho officer.
Right.
Some people think it's the only job that we do is to provide the placards for reserved parking,
Right.
but we have more to placards alone, and that's why funny, mga educate. There's
Yeah.
a lot of, and so we're trying to.
Yes.
We've been able to do workshops for the police department, for the tower people, and outreaches in the marketplace, so that we can help them understand, not to be scared to come to our office or
Right.
just to be heard and stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah, because it's like what now in 10 minutes of talking to you ladies, it's like, oh, I never knew, That's the feeling, and I'm sure that's what you hear when you go out there, like, oh, we never knew, Nobody told us that, about this or that, so and so needs a certain help, Oh, okay, that's great.
I just wanted to add on how Serita touched on the culturally based services
Right.
that we provide at OPAD, which is such a great thing to tie into inclusion, yeah, especially for people with disabilities locally. When they come into our office, we're able to provide that service, to
Yes.
speak to them at the, try to resolve the issue at the lowest level. And so that's another way that we're able to provide, inclusivity and make sure that it reflects in the work that we do. Yeah. And I think that's really important.
Because I'm already sensing like a lot of training
A lot.
that needs to go into your job title,
Yes.
You know,
Yes,
from
Oh,
social,
yeah.
emotional, mental,
Yeah.
a lot of training.
Especially
Wow.
when we cater to different types of people
True.
with disabilities. People think it's one size fits all,
Fits all, right?
kind of approach,
Mhm.
but it's different. Yeah.
Different.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with our office as well, Ernie and Alofa, we have 9 programs.
Mm.
Yeah. So when you say training, we have to go through a lot of training, and we're still going through a lot of
Yeah.
training
Yeah.
because we deal with we protect and advocate for mental illness, for developmental diseases. We also protect and advocate for those for voting access, also for individual rights.
Hmm.
We also protect and advocate for those that require assistive technology, and also for client assistance program for those that want to go back to work. And last but not least is the beneficiary for Social Security and rent payee program. So those are the
That's
programs
a lot.
that
Just want to put it
OPAD
out there.
office,
Okay.
are providing for the disability community.
Wow. Okay. I don't want to sidetrack Alofa's line of questions, but
Yes,
please let's go back after all this. I got so many questions about training because we on our side would love to have training.
Yes.
We would love to have trainings, but I don't want to sidetrack Alofa's line of questions, but please.
So, well, now we're talking about educate, right? So maybe this is the right time to talk about what are some rights that people with disabilities should know they have.
That's a good question. One of the most important rights that people with disabilities should be aware of is the ADA, the Americans Disabilities Act. And it's so important to understand that, under that law, you're protected in many ways.
Right.
Yeah. Equal employment opportunities. It prohibits you from discrimination against people with disabilities and in workplaces, in public places, public entities, anywhere that provides a service.
Right.
Just to ensure that their rights are protected under that law.
Mm.
So it also ties into the work that we do,
Right.
such as the what do you call it? Under our PAIR program, the
Mhm.
Protection and Advocacy for Individual Rights.
Right.
So we have a compliance officer. Yeah, he used to go out when someone would call in with a complaint, about someone parking illegally in the parking spaces that are reserved for individuals with disabilities. So that's part of the work that we do. Like I said, we police the community, because a lot of them, I don't know, they just overlook these things. They think, oh, it's normal, they're parking there too. But no, it's a big issue,
Right.
and it's something that needs to be taken seriously, And I'm tired.
Right.
Seriously,
I've
tired. Every time I go to the store, they're always
Right.
parked there. So here I am getting my crutches out. They're probably like, "Oh, kasi but it's just about education.
Yeah.
Educating the community and letting them know that it's not okay. You need to be mindful of people with disabilities. They need that parking.
Right.
So yeah, it's
If
something that we need to.
Sana, if you don't mind, because as our listeners are listening in, again, my name is Ernie Seevaetasi. I'm legally blind,
Mm.
so I'm looking across the table and I don't see you
Mm.
or Rita. I'm sorry. How do you want to be?
Serita.
Serita. Serita. Right. I'm not seeing you, ladies. But and of course, Alofa's on my right, and he's in a wheelchair. So just for the benefit of our listeners, so I'm legally blind. And Sana, you touch on your disability, You're-
Okay, so yeah, I wanted to share about that.
right?
So I have osteogenesis imperfecta. That's the fancy way of saying my disability, but in simpler terms, it's brittle bone disease. Yeah, so my bones are fragile, but
Right.
as I grew older, it's strengthened finally.
Oh, nice.
yeah.
Okay, that's great. Oh, okay. Alofa, did you already share your?
I think mine is almost the opposite of yours.
Mm.
It's SMA. I don't know if you ever heard SMA, spine muscular atrophy.
Okay, I've heard of that, but not the
Yes.
acronym. I'm not familiar with the acronym.
Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing.
Okay. Yeah, just so that our listeners like, understand, have also personal connection of who these
Mm.
people are talking.
Yeah.
That's good.
So
yeah.
we have our firsthand experiences.
Mhm.
On back to the parking though, most of the people I hear, complaining about the parking are they'll call, but how long does it take? Or can they take pictures of the license plate? Or
Mhm.
Yeah, you
Yes,
can always
they
take. Yeah.
all right.
And so
Mhm.
we've advised people that call in about the parkings.
Mhm.
Because there's limited staff or compliance officers, and for everybody to know that the parking situation on the ADA has been turned back to the Department of Public Safety. So, but when we were taking care of it, we would advise the people to take pictures and then send it to us, and we'll look it up on our inventory or our placard log, and then we'll have to connect with the OMB and the police station in order for them to give a warning, or because we're not. By the time we get there, when the call is made, the car is probably gone.
True.
And we
Yeah.
would also advise if there are security at businesses or
Right.
departments, just get a lookout on those and have the people come to them so that they can write down the numbers so we can help them. It's kind of hard too because people, well, I don't know if they think that the parkings are for everybody.
Right.
And there's also a misuse of the placards too for some people, but we advise them that you cannot drive that car if the person on the placard is not in the vehicle.
Gotcha.
Yes.
That person that has to be in the vehicle.
Mhm.
Yes, just say for your condition,
True.
since you're legally blind, but you can still apply for a placard. But your driver is the one that will take you to where you want to go. So if you're not in the vehicle and your driver is using it just to get in and then come out of the store, then we're gonna have to ask for an ID in order to connect with the placard,
Right.
and then we'll probably have to call the Department of Public Safety for a ticket, because you will be cited if you park wrong in reserve parking.
Do you also advise business owners, like for instance, this building we're at right here, they have disability parking. Do you train them to advise their tenants
Yeah.
Yes.
to not park in those spots?
Mm.
A few years ago, our compliance officer did send out, and the director at the time, and we will probably do one this year or sometime this year. We've been sending letters out to all the businesses and all departments to be aware of the requirements of the reserve parking for people with disabilities. Because for the government, sometimes we receive calls that the worker there who has a placard parks there the whole day, but it's not for the whole day. It's just to park to come into the building and come back out for the disabled person that has applied for it. And so, yes, we did let all the departments of the government and some businesses know of the requirements also for how to, and the signages and stuff like that. And we did make them aware of the law and the requirements of the reserve parking.
My follow-up question would be, do you assess the weight of the disability? Like somebody mentioned, I think it was you, Sana, that we mentioned that people took advantage of the placard.
Mm.
And it's like, I legally blind, have no problem having the car parked like way down the parking lot and walk to where I need to walk to. I would rather give up that spot. I mean, just reserve that handicap spot for people in wheelchair or have mobility
Yes.
limitations. As for me, I can walk fine, but people say, why don't you get a placard? You can park right there. I'm like, I don't mind the extra walk. I need it,
Yeah.
But Yeah, I've seen people with placards, and I know they qualified for it, running in and out of buildings.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, I don't think you're that disabled, but who am I to judge? Do you weigh on that?
On the application form for reserved parking,
Mhm.
we do have the requirements or the conditions, but it needs to be certified by the doctor. That's why we give out the placards, and the doctor has to verify the condition of the disability, neurological. Let's see, I did bring a placard application.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yes, let's see. Oh, you can add it if you want. I hope I did bring that.
Yeah, because I do have some friends with placards, and
Yeah.
they're like
No, I don't.
perfectly, they can perfectly,
Mhm. Yeah.
and they have no limitations. And I'm like, oh, it's so late.
Oh, here. Okay, yeah. So we have the vision impaired and the inability to walk more than 200 feet from without having to stop and rest.
Ah,
And for the ambulatory disability, an individual that uses a wheelchair, walker, crutch, brace, or any other assistive device to walk. An individual has lung disease or spirometry less than 1 liter or arterial oxygen. Also cardiovascular condition, neurological arthritis, orthopedic that severely limits the ability to walk, and reliance on oxygen sources.
right.
So all this is certified by the doctor before they come and apply for the placard.
Understood.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know. Because when I see my friends run in and out of stores, so I'm like, I shake my head, but then they do legally qualify.
Yes.
That's good.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Looking at our time, so I think we still have much time for one more question. So, how can self-advocate community organization and other agencies work together with OPAD to better support people with disability in our community?
That's a great question. When I think about that, it's so important to have people with disabilities, especially in these organizations, to be part of these conversations.
Right.
Yeah, because the things that we need, it has to come from the person that has the disability, that they have the experience,
Right.
and only they would understand, and the caregiver, who takes care of the person with the disability. It's so important to understand that we need to see that they also have needs that need to be met, and a lot of these people who are able-bodied, like they don't know about that. So it's so important to have our voices be included, be heard, in these spaces where there are people that may look intimidating. Conversations may be uncomfortable and hard, but you gotta have it.
Right.
And that's like my advice, my best advice to people with disabilities who are listening in.
Right.
You have to do the hard stuff. You need to talk about the uncomfortable things. You need to take up space in the rooms full of giants.
Yeah.
So just believe in yourself that you can do anything.
Right.
Because that's another thing I wanted to add: the assumptions and misconceptions of
Right.
people. And I've encountered it a lot. People that I would first meet, they're like, "Oh, so what do you do at home all day?" And I'm like, "I have a job, I have a life. Yeah, I do run business."
Jumping on airplanes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just
Sure.
wanted to mention that too, that I do makeup. So I have a makeup business. Yeah, and I do that on the side.
Right.
And even people are shocked about that. Like, "Oh, how can you do that?" I'm like, "Well, my hands work." Yeah, I'm like,
Right.
duh.
No.
But yeah, that's like one of the things that I just wanted to shed light on as well. The misconceptions in the community. Yeah. So yeah, I'm sorry. I think it's kind of a bit I'm just talking about touching everything right now.
Ah.
Yeah.
No.
Well, Senorita, you wanna share anything before we?
Well-
Well, we just want to let the disability community and the whole of American Samoa know that you have rights, and we are here to protect and advocate for those rights.
Yes.
I know some people are scared to voice out their
Mm.
needs and stuff like that. So we would advise that you need to understand your rights, and there's a lot of also resources online that can help our disability community
Mhm.
understand that they have the right to employment, they have the right for accessibility, and they have the right for accommodations, and they have the right to live a better life just like everybody else.
Mhm.
Um, I know some people think that disabilities are visible, but there are some disabilities that are not visible as well.
So true.
And so education is very important.
Mm-hmm.
And so we would try our best as PNAs to educate the public to know their rights as disabled people, because um, they're they're not different from us. It's just their physical, or but they're strong in the mind and the will. And so that's my take. Advice: be educated.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Be empowered, and we can work together to protect and advocate for the disability community.
Right. On that note, it leads into my final question on my part is American Samoa Center for Independent Living. How can we be part of your program and be used as a tool to advocate
Right.
for the public? Is maybe that we can discuss some other time.
Yes.
After, but we definitely want to be a partner.
Yeah, definitely network. Yeah.
Networking is so important because I wasn't always blind, but now that I am, being blind gives me better sight in a
Better
sense.
insight
Yes.
too.
Exactly. You get to see things from a different perspective.
Yeah.
Like there's so many great organizations, but they seem not connected,
Yes.
not
Mm.
networking. But yeah, definitely for us at ASCIL, we definitely want to network. We definitely want to learn,
Yes.
and touch on education part. Please, we are in need of education training to better prepare ourselves, And on that part too about the education is these young folks that are running the ASCIL, they graduated from our local high schools, but then that's it. Their applications with ASG is still at HR.
Yeah.
So maybe that's something OPAD can help with.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank
It's
you.
definitely a
Thank
conversation.
you. Yeah,
Maybe a next segment.
exactly. Appreciate it.
Just throwing it out.
Yeah. Yep. Thank you. Lofa, any more last words?
Yeah. So sorry, I just saw this one important questions that I missed. If it's okay for you.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's fine.
Thank you. So it's about how important is it for disability serving organization to include people with disability in their workforce, leadership, and decision making process.
That ties back to the previous question, my answer, yeah. That it's so important to have people with disabilities, in the room. Like they have to have a seat at the table, no matter what it is.
Yeah.
Because, the decision making process and everything that that people with disabilities can do, and the needs that they have as well needs to be communicated. It
Right.
needs to be known, because it's so important that we need to share what comes from us, what
Mhm.
comes from the person with the disability, and especially with the caregivers, and I'm excited for that segment coming up, So yeah, it's so
Yeah.
important to have these people like me and Alofa and people with disabilities,
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to take up space.
Right, and
We
that-
have a voice, it matters.
Right. And
Yeah.
for the caregivers as well.
Yes,
Yeah.
know,
caregivers
they
pay a
have-
lot.
Right.
Yeah,
I think
do a
I
lot.
heard somewhere where it's like caregiving is like the weight of the mental and emotional weight of
Yeah.
caregiving is
Yes.
a lot to carry. You know?
Can I also add on that?
Yeah.
So sorry if I'm dragging your
yes,
time.
Yes, no worries.
About the caregiver, my mom and my dad, they're my caregivers. As a child growing up, they had a lot of issues too, with advocacy and things like that, especially on an island where there were lack of resources back then.
Yeah.
So when I was a child, before I started in public school, my mom took me in to register. And then when they knew about my disability, and then I don't know what was going on in their minds at the time, but they gave an answer to my mom that I should be homeschooled, that they're not able to provide that accommodation. And so my mom, the firecracker that she is,
Yeah.
she went all the way.
Great.
Up. She went to the highest, that was the governor. And so they worked together with the representative too at the time. So grateful for all those people that had a hand in the work. When I was in elementary, I'm so glad to say that right now, it's accessible. It has walkways, even ramps going up to the building.
Right.
So that was one of the impacts that caregivers, and parents, they can help with their child to make sure that they're the hands and feet, for
Right.
them to have these accommodations. And it also went throughout my high school years. The same fight. My parents had to do that. And so they have that walkway extended to the gym, and all the 2-story level buildings have ramps now. So I just wanted to give that encouragement to the parents out there and the caregivers listening that we see you. You matter.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Amen to that.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, because I've heard a lot of the issue and the struggle that caregivers go through. I mean, they're carrying a lot of emotional weight.
Yes.
Yeah. Is there going to be another segment? Because I am so excited now.
Part two.
Yeah.
Right?
Is
Me
there a
and Rita
part
are
two?
ready to come back for a
Yeah,
second.
I am. I got so many. My.
Well,
Great.
okay.
Well, we'll see. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Would totally appreciate it. I love
Yep.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for making your time available to
yes.
meet with us here. Thank you, Kat, and the
Thank you, Kat.
PCHS team for providing the platform so that we can share and communicate. And okay, so how can people contact us for your organization?
Yes.
Reach out. Sure.
Our office is located in Tafuna,
Mm-hmm.
on the first floor of the Territorial Energy Office. We are across the VA clinic and the PX, and we're in the middle of the Azteca building and the election
Oh,
office.
yeah.
You can't miss it.
And well accessible.
Yeah.
Yes, and well accessible. We have
Yes.
sliding doors, so you don't have to
Yeah.
open it yourself. And we are under the leadership of our director, Dora Asu, and our deputy director, Alofaeleuma. And our phone numbers are 699-2441, 699-2442. Give us a call if you want to report abuse or a neglected case,
Right.
or we can help you with the 9 programs that we've already laid out for everybody to understand. We are not service providers,
Mhm.
but we protect and advocate for the rights of people with disabilities through cultural and legal advocacy.
Wow.
Thank you so much for
Thank you.
our time.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Can I also add on? We
Yes.
also launched our OPAD website.
Oh, yes,
Oh, nice.
It's
sorry.
opadas.com.
Oh, that's
yeah.
great.
Yes, and we also have a Facebook.
Yeah.
We're
Okay.
also on Facebook
Mhm.
too. Office of Protection and Advocacy for the Disabled, and all our contact is on there.
Yes.
And yeah, the website. I'm sorry, I forgot about that. We
No,
just
that's
launched it.
fantastic.
Thank you so much, ladies. And thank you for our listeners for listening to the Pacific Talk Podcast Self Advocate Series. So, to learn more about the Pacific Center in Human Security and work we do, visit our website at pchs.americansamoa.edu and follow the Pacific Center in Human Security on Facebook, PCHS. And we also encourage you to follow the American Samoa Center for Independent Living on Facebook to stay connected with disability advocacy, resource, and community events. Until next time, thank you for joining us as we continue to amplify self-advocate voices and strengthen inclusion throughout American Samoa. Soifua Maia Manuia.